I found out what my husband kept from me for the past 15 years. Marcus had this habit of volunteering at the local youth center every Saturday morning. He would leave at 6 a.m. and come back around noon, completely exhausted. For 15 years, I never questioned it. He said he was mentoring kids who needed positive role models. I thought it was sweet. My husband spending his only day off helping troubled teenagers. He would come home with stories about teaching kids basketball or helping them with college applications. Sometimes he would seem sad after these visits, but I figured it was just the emotional weight of working with at-risk youth. Last month, I decided to surprise him with lunch. I drove to the youth center with sandwiches and his favorite coffee, excited to finally see him in action. I had been feeling guilty about never showing interest in this huge part of his life. The front desk lady looked confused when I asked for Marcus. We do not have anyone by that name volunteering here. Never have. My stomach dropped. I showed her his photo on my phone. She studied it carefully and shook her head. Sorry, I have been working here 8 years and I have never seen this man. I walked back to my car in a daze. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold my phone. I called Marcus immediately. Where are you right now? The youth center. Why? Anxious? Yeah. His voice sounded normal, casual. No, you are not. I am standing in the parking lot right now and they have never heard of you. Complete silence on the other end. I could hear his breathing get faster. Then he said quietly, I will be home in 20 minutes. We need to talk. Those 20 minutes felt like hours. I drove home going through every possible explanation in my head. An affair, a secret addiction, a second family. Like cold of silk. By the time I pulled into our driveway, I had convinced myself our entire marriage was a lie. When he walked through the door, his face was red and blotchy like he had been crying the whole drive home. He sat down at our kitchen table without saying a word and pulled out his phone with trembling hands. He turned it toward me. The screen showed a photo of a little girl, maybe 8 or 9 years old, with dark curly hair and Marcus's exact same eyes. She was wearing a purple birthday hat and holding a slice of cake. Her name is Sophie. She is my daughter. I felt like the floor disappeared under me. You cheated on me? No, he said quickly. This happened before we met. I was 19, barely out of high school. Her mother and I dated for maybe 3 months, then she completely ghosted me. I found out about Sophie when she was 2. I ran into her mother at a grocery store by accident. She was pushing a stroller and I saw this little girl who looked exactly like my baby pictures. He pulled up more photos. Sophie as a toddler. Sophie missing her front teeth. Sophie holding a spelling bee trophy. Her mother had severe addiction issues. In and out of rehab, unstable housing. She refused to let me be part of Sophie's life officially. She was terrified I would try to take custody, so she made me an offer. I could see Sophie help support them financially, but I had to sign papers saying I would not pursue legal custody or tell anyone. If I tried, she threatened to disappear with Sophie. I was 21 years old. I had no money for lawyers. I was terrified of losing my daughter completely, so I agreed to her terms. He showed me bank statements going back 15 years. Every month, cash withdrawals of $400. Child support under the table. But Merkemling, wager and all. So for 15 years, every Saturday, Marcus drove 2 hours each way to spend time with his daughter, taking her to parks, helping with homework, making sure she had at least one stable parent in her life. Why did you never tell me? Because I was scared. Scared you would think I was a liar. Scared you would leave. Scared that if I told anyone, Sophie's mother would vanish with her. What changed? Last year, Sophie's mom died from an overdose. Sophie went into foster care. The system had no record of me because of those papers I signed. I have been fighting for 14 months to prove she is mine. The custody hearing is next month. I did not tell you because I did not know if I would win. I looked at the photo again. This little girl with Marcus's smile had been alone in the system, while her father fought silently to bring her home. Why would you think I would not want to meet her? Marcus started crying, real heavy sobs, because I lied to you for 15 years. But I thought you would hate me. I grabbed his hand. When is the next visitation? Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Then we are both going. That Saturday, I met Sophie in a supervised visitation room at Child Services. She was tiny, quiet, clutching a stuffed rabbit. When Marcus introduced me as his wife, she looked up with those big eyes and asked, does this mean I might get to live with you? Yes, sweetheart. We are fighting really hard to bring you home. Because 3 weeks later, the judge granted Marcus full custody. Sophie moved into our guest room with new purple sheets and stuffed animals. She starts 4th grade next month. Marcus does not volunteer on Saturdays anymore. He spends them teaching Sophie to make pancakes in our kitchen.